This is Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin and Ripple's XRP. We'll be looking at the MACDs, the moving averages, the day's support, resistance and pivot levels and the Fibonacci's. It is Sunday the 13th of June. Jumping straight into Bitcoin against US dollar, looking at the hourly candlestick, slightly bearish start to the day here. You're going to see Bitcoin move through the pivot at 35,885. Take a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 37,140. You're going to see plenty of support for Bitcoin to break back through to 37,000 levels. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's high at 37,461.3 to cap any upside. In the event of a broad-based crypto rally, should see Bitcoin target 40,000 levels before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 38,716. Failure to move through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 34,309 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Bitcoin should still clear sub 33,000 levels. Second major support level at 33,054 should limit the downside. Looking at the MACD, we have a narrowing of the bullish histograms at the turn of the day, and we could see a possible bearish cross, so keep an eye on that. On the EMAs, we've seen the 50, the 100 and the 200 converge, suggesting an imminent move. So I need to monitor that through the early part of the day. So key would be to move through the pivot at 35,885 and back through to 37,000 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that, and support levels will be in play. Moving across to Ethereum against the US dollar, also bearish this morning. Going to need to Ethereum avoid a fallback through the pivot at 2361. To take a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 2463. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ethereum to break back through to 2400 levels. So barring an extended rally, they expect that first major resistance level and resistance at 2500 to cap any upside. In the event of a broad-based crypto rally, should see Ethereum target 2600 levels before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 2554. Failure to move back through the pivot, just fallen through the pivot again, would bring the first major support level at 2270 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ethereum should still well clear of sub 2000 levels. Second major support level at 2169 should limit the downside. Looking at the MACDs, we've got a bearish cross at the turn of the day, supporting this early morning pullback. On the EMAs, the 50 has pulled back further from the 100 and the 200, which is a bearish indicator, suggesting further downside ahead. So failure to move back through the pivot at 2361 would bring support levels into play. A move back through to 2400 levels would bring resistance levels into play. Moving across to Litecoin against the US dollar, tracking the broader market. Bearish start, going to see Litecoin avoid the pivot at 160. Let's take a run at the first major resistance level at 166. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Litecoin to break out from yesterday's high. That was at 164.36. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of a broad-based crypto rally, 62% fib at 174 to cap the upside. Second major resistance level sits at 170. A fall through the pivot would bring the first major support level at 156 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Litecoin should still clear the second major support level, sitting at 150. Looking at the MACDs, we've had a narrowing of the bullish histograms through late yesterday and at the turn of the day, supporting this early morning pullback, so look out for a bearish cross. On the EMAs, the 50 has pulled further back from the 100 and the 200, bearish indicator suggesting further downside ahead. So key would be to avoid the pivot at 160, break through yesterday's high 164.36 to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that, and support levels will be in play. Finally, looking at Ripple's XRP against the US dollar, going to need to see Ripple's XRP move back through the pivot at 8283 to take a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 8498. Going to see plenty of support from the broader market for Ripple's XRP to break back through to 0.84 levels. So barring an extended rally, they expect that first major resistance level and the 62% fib at 8573 to cap any upside. In the event of a broad-based crypto rally, should see Ripple's XRP I.9 levels before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 0.8681. Failure to move back through the pivot would bring the first major support level 0.81 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ripple's XRP should steer clear of sub 0.80 levels. Second major support level sits at 0.7885. Looking at the MACDs, we had a narrowing of the bullish histograms through late yesterday and at the turn of the day. So I need to keep an eye out for a possible bearish cross. On the EMAs, we're seeing the 50 pull further back from the 100 and the 200, signaling further downside ahead. So key would be to avoid a fallback through the pivot at 0.8283 and break back through to 0.84 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels will be in play.